Good morning, readers. Well, today is a special day. It is release day for Out with the Sunset, the first book in the Parks Pat Mysteries. So I'm excited to be launching a new series this year. This is a police procedural. The main character is a Métis single mom homicide detective who has just moved to Calgary. So it is set locally. The murders take place in parks in and around Calgary, which means that I can walk through them and scout them out and have had a blast looking for murder sites and interesting ways for people to die in some of these parks. So we have 3 of these books coming out this month. I'll cover those at the end, I think. And what I'll go on to next is a short reading from Out with the Sunset, just to whet your appetite. And I will put the buy links and a link to my blog in the comment section below. On my blog, then there's a number of other new releases that you might be interested in too. Out with the Sunset is pretty short, so you're going to be looking for something else to read as well. Okay, so reading from Out with the Sunset. Mom, you've got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Margie winced at Christina's complaint. Up until her phone ringer had shattered their quiet morning preparations, the day had been going well. Bright sunshine streamed in through the kitchen windows of the small house. The rich odor of brewing coffee filled the air. Christina had been blow-drying her long black hair, the hum of the dryer providing a soothing white noise background as Margie prepared her breakfast and reviewed the day's plans. Everything had been peaceful despite both of their first-day anxieties. I know, honey, I didn't plan this. You know I was going to take you to school today and help with your schedule and getting settled in. But she gave a dramatic shrug and grimace. You know I can't control when someone gets murdered. Couldn't someone else take this one? You promised me. They need me. Others in the department will be involved, but this is my first lead, and I can't turn it down. You could. Margie took a deep breath in. Her stomach felt hollow and heavy. She knew she'd promised Christina that she would be there for her first day of school. It wasn't fair to expect her to do everything by herself while Margie went off to a murder scene. She was brand new to the Calgary Homicide Department, and her coworkers would be watching to see how she took on her first case, watching for her to make a mistake, to see whether she knew that she was competent or just a diversity hire for a department that needed Indigenous representation on the team. Christina was right, of course. She could turn it down and ask for them to make someone else the primary. But what message would that send to the rest of her team about her commitment and ability to handle both her personal life and the rigors of the job? Maybe you could start tomorrow instead, Margie suggested. I could call the school and let them know that you won't be starting today, but you'll be there tomorrow. No way! Christina's response was immediate and emphatic. I'm starting the same day as everyone else. It's bad enough that I'm the new girl. I'm not going to have everybody looking at me because I didn't start the same day as everybody else. Like I've got some kind of privilege. Like Margie's, Christina's black hair, bronze skin, and facial features showed her Cree heritage clearly. Neither one would be mistaken for white. But others often saw Indigenous people as lazy, looking for a handout, or expecting compensation for what had happened to them over the generations. Christina wouldn't want to be branded as one of those Indians. Well, those are the only 2 options. Margie looked at her watch. I need to get to the scene. You can go today and get your guidance counselor to help you get everything set up, or you can wait until tomorrow when I can go with you. Christina slammed the door to the bathroom and started the water running so that Margie couldn't talk to her. Margie swept her long hair back with both hands and divided it into sections. She deftly braided it and pinned it up into a bun so that it would be neat and out of the way. The coffee machine finished brewing and she poured her coffee into a travel mug. After making sure she had everything else she would need, including Staff Sergeant McDonald's directions to get to the site, she knocked on the bathroom door. I'm going now. Are you okay? I'm fine, Christina snapped. What she said after that wasn't as easy to make out, but it was something along the lines of, not that you'd care. Margie sighed. Love you, sweetie. I'll see you after school. Give me a call if I'm not home and let me know how your day went. You're really going to take this case and make me go to a new school all by myself? I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. Christina slammed something down on the bathroom counter. Margie knew there wasn't anything else she could do or say to smooth things over. Christina was old enough that she could manage. She wasn't a shy or anxious child. She was a strong young woman. She would be able to navigate a new school. Margie had actually been surprised that Christina had wanted her to be there. Usually, she was embarrassed by her mother and didn't want her anywhere close to her teenager peers. Goodbye. Love you. There was no answer from her daughter. Margie picked up her coffee and her shoulder bag and got into the car. She stuck the note with Sergeant MacDonald's instructions on the dash. After starting the car, she waited for the GPS to boot up. She put Fish Creek Park into the GPS, but the route it popped up was nothing like the directions she'd been given. She studied the picture on the small screen. The green area was massive, covering many blocks, so there were undoubtedly more than one entrance. She would have to go by MacDonald's instructions and hope that they were detailed enough to get her there. She pulled out of the gravel parking pad in the back of the house and found her way out to 26th Street. There was a long multi-use path along the ridge above the irrigation canal, or the ditch as it was known in the neighborhood. There were always people walking dogs, running or biking along it. Even late at night or early in the morning, she could almost always count on seeing people on the pathway. She was looking forward to taking Stella out to explore and meet other fur babies. In September, the trees were still green with just occasional yellow leaves fluttering to the ground, and there were a lot of parks and green spaces throughout the city. The grass along the path was more yellow than it was green. She hadn't realized before moving to Calgary how arid the city was. The summer temperatures were nothing like they were in Manitoba, but it was still hot and dry. She had thought that it would be a lot more temperate in the shadow of the Rockies. She found her way to Deerfoot Trail and kept one eye on MacDonald's instructions to make sure that she didn't miss any exits or turns. Despite the traffic, she pulled into the east entrance to Fish Creek Park in under 20 minutes. There'd been no need for lights and siren. The man wasn't going to get any more dead. All right, so that is the beginning of Out with the Sunset, and hope that you will pick it up and start on this fun new series. Here you can see all three of the ones that are releasing this month: Out with the Sunset, Long Climb to the Top, and Dark Water Under the Bridge. And there are three more coming out in April. And so head on over to Amazon or my website or your favorite store and pick up your copy today. Check out my blog and pick up a few more as well. All right. I'll see you next week.